What is happening, Job Guys? Back with you again with another pay-per-view wrap-up. This time, it's the annual September PPV Clash of Champions. Kind of a one-match, maybe a two-match show, Nick. But I kind of liked it. Right off the bat, let's mix it up a little bit. What do you think, man? Give me a star rating or give me a 1 to 10, thumbs up, thumbs down, just out of the gate, man, before we get into it. What do you think?
Well, we're going out of 10? Out of 10?
Yeah,
like
whatever
out of 10
you want.
here? I would say it's a 7, 6.5, 7. I mean, I enjoyed certain aspects of it, but I was falling asleep in my chair for the lower card was rough, but we'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
I think what we're all watching for is Roman right now in wrestling. He's the reason why I'm tuning in.
Yep, we've been waiting for this for so long, and let's just jump right into it. Let's start right at the main event. Roman Reigns, Universal Championship, taking on his cousin, Jey Uso. Before we get into the match, dude, I thought it lived up to the hype. The funny thing with this, and we just said this off air, you knew what was going to happen in this match. You knew that Jey had zero chance to win this match, that he's probably just going to get absolutely annihilated. That's exactly what happened. Yet, I still wanted to see this. I still was excited to see this because for the first time in maybe a decade, Nick, this has been awesome storytelling. Everything about the Roman turn, I think, has been great. I have absolutely loved the last 2 weeks of SmackDown. The show has been terrible, but the Roman stuff has been incredible. The video packages talking about their family, the old videos, the pictures, Alpha and Sika and everybody. Dude, this has been incredible, and it made me want to see this, even though I knew what was going to happen, which is what happened. Jey comes out. He asks him to stop. He's pounding him to death. They finally stop the match. We'll talk. I'll talk more. I've talked a lot. Nick, what do you think about this? I absolutely loved it.
I've been excited. I've been the same way for you. We finally get to see Roman as the bad guy, right? The actual big dog of the yard, and it has been a pretty good build. They've got this guy up, and I'm not a Heyman guy, but I think it really did help adding Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns. It gave you that little extra push to cheer against him, to really hate him. I mean, Heyman brings that, aspect that people don't like. Just he does, love him or hate him. He's an easy guy to hate, right. Because I mean that in all with a compliment.
Sure,
he does his job.
That's his job.
That.
Yeah,
and going into the match, I thought the match was that was what you said. Weird. It was exactly what we expected. My only one problem, not even a problem, I wish he would have murdered him more.
Yeah.
Before Jey Uso came down. I wish, you got kind of 2 or 3 spears, got on top of him, and he's laying some good punches into him. I would have liked to, I'm not a fan of guys cutting themselves, but even if he had been busted open or even if he had speared him, in your favorite match of all time, Savage Warrior, Warrior,
he would have had him 5 times.
Yeah, but at least I would have liked to see Roman spear him to the point where he couldn't move, and
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought it was great. I wish just a little bit more in Jay's face, like please don't throw in the top.
Yeah.
But I like the feeling that he can't go on. I liked his brother coming out there. I did like his brother when he said, "You know what? Fine, you're the chief. Just stop. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's done now, man." I thought it was great. I really, that match was done really well.
Yeah.
Wish he would have been beaten up a little bit more, but yes.
Yeah, I would have maybe liked a little bit more on that front. What I am glad they didn't do, when Jay came out, I was a little worried he was then going to pummel, or excuse me, Jimmy. I was worried he was going to pummel Jimmy. And we have another chapter still to write. I was
Right.
worried they were going to give us all of that tonight. Glad they didn't. He can hit his bum leg in a week, 3 weeks from now, or whatnot. I thought the other
Yep.
thing I liked about that, though, dude, as my phone dings there. The other thing I liked was they used the environment to tell the story also. Yelling at him, tell him I'm the tribal chief, tell him. And the reason they can do that is there's no crowd.
Right.
So they constantly are talking. They use those elements a lot, obviously, a lot in this match. I thought that was great. You could hear him. You could hear Jay say, no, not today, you're not. All of that I thought was money. Love that. The only thing about this entire feud that I don't like, I get it. He's the tribal chief. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to start I'm going to Vegas or downtown Detroit. And dude, I'm going to place bets on the over under of number of times they say tribal chief or SmackDown pay-per-view, whatever it is. I got it, man. I mean, this is like worse than Beast Incarnate ever was. He's the chief. All right.
And I know they do say, I'm sure they tell them in the back, because you see that with everything. The camera may not have caught you. Make sure you repeat what you said. Guy, we've seen that for 30 years since the television era. But you are right. This, I mean, we got it. He's the chief, man.
But it's WWE, the famous line, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, brother. And they are overdoing that quite a bit. But dude, no, this is what everybody's been waiting to see, man. And how good, Nick, is Roman. All these people that are trying to tell me, he couldn't talk and blah, blah, blah. Bro, the guy can not only talk, he can act. I mean, he is with the tribal chief stuff, with saying, I'm the man, tell everybody I'm the man. I'm getting serious Hollywood Hogan vibes here, man. He is playing this anti-guy heel to a T. He is shoving it in everybody's face. I got that text of him working out last night a million times today and last night from people. Wow, did you see this? This was great. Dude, how good is he doing on top of the writing?
We've been saying this and it was probably because everybody, myself included, I'm a Roman fan, but we had seen everything the face Roman had to offer. We have been waiting for this, and we already said they missed this with John Cena.
Yes.
They never took that step. And John Cena never got to have, I mean, again, I'm a huge Cena fan, but he never got to have that big Hollywood Hulk moment, when he flipped back or when he went, I know he came in as kind of and was a bad guy or heel, but for the last 10, 15, he's been a face and we never got to see the turn.
Yeah.
Roman is pulling it off. And I'm excited for the next SmackDown. It just thinks it's not Raw.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Where do we go next? Do you have any idea? We saw Alexa Friday standing over his shoulder. So obviously the Fiend and him are going to have something at some point. But we still don't even know that Alexa is with the Fiend yet. So they got to figure that out. But, where do we go? Does Jimmy and Jay do something? Does he then beat up Jimmy? They can't stretch this out too long.
No, we've talked about this. It's going to be hard because if they were Jim Neidhart and Bret the Hitman Hart, you could fight and have a feud with one and then fight and have a feud with the other one because Jim and Bret are different characters. Jimmy and Jay are the same guy. So it's really hard to do this same angle again now with Jimmy Uso. But, man, I'll tell you what, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed here. You keep saying this tribal chief stuff. we got to be talking about the Rocket Mania is
We
what I've got
gotta
to be hoping. Because if he's going through the tribe, the real tribe leader is The Rock, right? I mean,
you gotta hope, and you and I have talked about this, and I know it maybe if anybody out there, if they're watching us, they probably have seen the talk between Roman and The Rock on social media and interviews and whatnot. The Rock was asked about it a week or so ago. He said, I would absolutely love to do it. He's like, that would be the guy. If I'm going to fight anybody, it's going to be him. That makes a lot of sense. I would like nothing more than to raise his hand, basically saying he was going to put him over. And then Roman said the same thing. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to do it. But I don't know. That tells me it's 100% this way or this way. I don't know which way that is, if that's good or bad, because if he's talking about putting him over and stuff like that, that makes me think they're not going to fight. But my gosh, I would love it if they did. And I don't know what else makes sense. I mean, you and I, maybe Big E at Mania. We're talking way down the road here.
Way down the road, but yeah.
It's got to be Roman, and Roman's against The Rock. And, if you put him over, that would be great.
They could still do, finish this one off with the Usos. You got some time. Maybe you bring Samoa. I know Samoa Joe's not directly related, but he's Samoan. Maybe he gets in there. Maybe he's a little mad the way you're representing the heritage of the Samoa.
Of the other tribe. He's the other tribe. Yeah.
But, he could get you through a pay-per-view. We haven't seen heel Roman versus face Samoa. If Samoa can fight, I don't know what the deal is with that guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I hope that's what we're going toward. I really do. I'm not a fan of part-timers either. But The Rock, and I'll say this, he's never really gave the put-over. Like, people can dog on the Hulk.
No.
The Hulk put over people before he went away. I mean, The Rock, people can say Cena, but to me, Cena and The Rock are equal. They split a 1-1. They didn't have that. Rock,
Cena was already there. He was already,
This would be a great chance for The Rock to really catapult this guy's career.
Mm-hmm.
To beat him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he's got to lose. If he fights Roman, he has to lose. There's no doubt about it. Nick, again, I thought it was awesome. Everything about this has been awesome. Match. The best storytelling this company has told in at least 10 years. I think this is incredible. This has been awesome, and I can't wait to see what's next. Absolutely love it, man. Wish it would have happened a long time ago. Glad it's here now.
At least we get to see it.
At least we get to see it, and it's working, man. It is working. The match right before that is for the other world title. It is Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, ambulance match this time. You would assume this is the blow-off, but maybe not because of the way some of this went down. Nick, how do you feel about this match?
That match is the reason I gave this card 7. I thought this match, I mean, it wasn't bad in essence of the moves or what they did, but I thought they murdered Randy Orton. I don't understand why all these old guys had to come back and just whoop on Randy. I mean, a choke slam by the Big Show. Christian jumps him in the back. Sweet chin music from Michaels off the top of the ambulance. I just didn't feel like all that was – because now what does Orton do? Feud with these guys? He's supposed to be the legend killer. He's supposed to have gotten the best of the – and these guys are guys you're not even using anymore.
They're all retired except for Show.
They just one-upped Orton. Orton now – I mean, going into SummerSlam, Randy Orton was the hottest guy on the planet, in my opinion, in wrestling. And now he's lost twice in a row to Drew McIntyre. He's lost to Keith Lee. I just feel like he really cooled down. I thought they were going to give the title to Orton and switch it up a little bit because I don't know what Drew does now. I don't know who he fights now. Maybe Keith Lee, I guess. But, I mean, I'm not mad that
we've seen it already.
Right. I I didn't understand this match, I guess, is what I didn't understand why it needed all the interference. I guess the feud, it's kind of over, but maybe not, because Orton didn't really lose clean. McIntyre had a handful of guys help him. So I'm confused on where we stand now with this feud.
I'm going to say the same thing you did, only the exact opposite. I'm not worried what it did for Orton. I'm worried what it did to Drew. Drew needed 4 old dudes to beat this guy. He needed Michaels and Big Show and Christian and Rick to save him, to win this fight. It makes sense. Storyline-wise, it does make sense. Those are all the guys who Randy Orton screwed. I get it. They all came back. They all beat, but Drew, it makes Drew look weak to me, that he needed the help. And now Orton can say, well, you didn't beat me. You needed all these dudes to beat me. So, yeah, maybe they do fight again. But do I want to see this again?
No.
Not
now.
And it's the same thing with Roman. He's obviously going to keep some kind of feud going with the Usos, and then they're going to have the Fiend, which I do know, not to go back to Tribal Chief here, but I don't want to see him fight Mr. Cartoon Man. You got him over as some like sweet, real, tough, strong dude. Now, after he gets done with the Usos, he's going to fight Mr. Cartoon. No, that seems like you're going backwards with Roman. But again, so then who else does he fight? Same thing here. Your champion has no other main eventers to fight. Who does he fight now? They don't have anybody. Is Strowman back up there now because he beat Dabba-Kato in Raw Underground? Is he back now? I don't think anybody's excited about seeing Strowman fight for the title again. They got a real problem on the main event front, Nick. I don't know where they go there.
Shows.
Right, yeah, shows. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, who do they and do they have a draft? Do they mix up the roster? Where do you go?
But even if they did, who would you move from SmackDown to fight Drew?
Right.
And who would you move from Raw to fight Roman?
Right.
They've fought everybody, or the other guys are not there. I don't want to watch Andrade fight somebody.
Dude, he can't even win tag matches, man.
Right. They haven't built stars. And you may be right. I mean, maybe we're getting another, because they did leave it open with a complaint by Orton. The only problem, it makes me think, but now Drew has beat him twice.
Right.
So, he beat him at SummerSlam. And there's question on it, but do I want to watch him a third time? And if they fight a third time, you would assume Orton has to win the third time, right? I mean, does Drew beat this guy 3 straight pay-per-views? Maybe. I mean,
yeah, maybe. I mean, because where else do they go? He wins the blow-off? I don't know how he would win the blow-off. I just didn't like the way it makes it look like Drew needed help, and a lot of help. He didn't need just help from one dude. 4 dudes.
Well, and 2 of them hit him with 2 iconic finishing. I mean, the Big Show choke slammed him through a table. Shawn Michaels' sweet chin music off the ambulance.
Yes.
I mean, those were pretty 2 high impact. I mean, moves that would usually finish a normal match, that could be, in, I don't know. Yeah.
Like that 70s guy power bombing a dude off the bus. It's the same thing. Same thing. All right. Yeah, I'm with you. I was not a fan of that whatsoever. Let's jump back to the very beginning of the pay-per-view. They opened the pay-per-view up with the 4-way ladder match. IC title on the line, 2 titles. Hardy is the champ. Sami Zayn never lost it. He wins this thing, and he wins it in pretty clever fashion. I cannot believe we've never seen handcuffs.
If we've
seen it, I forgot. It was good. Handcuffs through the ear. I thought this was good, Nick.
I did too. I like this one. I like the idea. Even the feud, it kind of reminded me of Shawn Michaels and Razor from back
With
in
the
the
2
day.
belts.
Sammy coming back. And I was thinking going into Sammy's got to win this thing, right? I mean,
Right.
he's got to – the guy who was claiming to be champion. And I thought it made sense that he did. I thought it was – the match itself, I'll tell you this much. Don't show previous ladder matches highlights before a ladder match.
Yeah, what was with that?
That is the stupidest thing you could do, because he jumps off the ladder, and it was a cool move. Jeff Hardy jumped off the ladder and took out Sami Zayn from high up. But you just showed me 5 minutes earlier that he just did that in 2017.
Yes. Why?
So I think we were there, but I forgot he did that.
Yeah, we were there.
So, I didn't remember that until you showed me it, and it kind of took away when you showed me these guys' big moves in previous ladder matches. It kind of took away from this ladder match,
right?
And what I was thinking this whole time is this ladder match is just a very forgettable ladder match. There's nothing here I haven't seen before. It wasn't bad. I'm not dogging it, but it was just a forgetful until the end, until he pulls out the hand, and then I was like, this is great. And he kept the key in his mouth, or so they say. I thought that was pretty cool. The Jeff Hardy thing, every time they do something with this, I was just waiting. Man, I was out the whole time. I was thinking, if someone slips and falls on Jeff Hardy, they're going to rip his freaking ear off. That's all I was thinking, is if something goes bad here, I was like, this is just Jeff Hardy's, hats off to him for being willing to do that. Because,
guy's a nut.
He came back in there swinging. I'm like, AJ's going to fall on him, and he's going to rip his ear off. This is going to be just the worst pay-per-view.
Right.
But it worked. It worked. It went well. The finish was great. This match was my second probably favorite match of the night. Again, I don't like the overuse of the ladder match. It seems like we're getting one once a month. Especially, I know we saw, I think one at Mania, or maybe after Mania. I can't remember. I know we saw Money in the Bank. We got 2 of them there. I don't like the overuse of it, but the finish was creative. Very well done.
Absolutely. I thought, that's the thing we always talk about with this is like, well, what else can you do? And I thought the same exact thing you did. Like, what are you doing? Really? Like, you're showing me other stuff? Like, don't remind me of anything. What are you doing here? So I thought that it was stupid, but there was some moves in there. The handcuffs was great. The earring handcuff was great. Hardy took a bump that was pretty nasty. That wiped him out of the ring. That was a good move. That was a cool move. I liked it. So it was fine, and I cannot stand Sami Zayn, but whatever. That has nothing to do with this match. Thought the match was fine. Had 0 issues whatsoever with this match. Moving on, they do the 24/7 thing. Who gives a rip?
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I feel they ruined – R-Truth could have been something, man. Maybe I'm the only guy that thinks that. This guy was a major player, I think, in TNA. Wasn't he a champ? And I thought he had several good runs with the WWE where they just missed him. When he was smoking, I think it was, feuding with Cena.
Was great.
That he was – there was something there. And then they put him with The Miz for just to, I guess, to get murdered by The Rock and Cena at that pay-per-view.
Right.
Was the whole, but they were a good tag team too. I don't know why. I felt they meshed and fit together. I mean, between those 2 times in the WWE and the time in TNA when he was, good, he's done as good as he can with this title, but this title's a joke. I cannot wait for this thing to be gone and never come back again.
No, dude, you're not alone, because I got a few friends that think he's funny currently. Like, they think he's good now. And I don't, but hey, man, if you do, that's great.
He did what he could with a terrible situation and a terrible title.
Well, he does a good job with that gimmick. Yeah, I'm over it. It's not funny. It's the same thing every day. Just over it. So yeah, there's that. So they fight. Then we get the girls. I lost my spot here. We got the Raw Women's title, females. It's going to be Asuka. They had some issues today with some of the girls, and COVID apparently. I don't know if that has come out exactly, but they had some issues. They had to get rid of a couple of the matches because of what was going on with them, the tag match being one of them. So here we go. Asuka, what do you think about this one, Nick? Raw Women's title taking on Zelina Vega, who all of a sudden gets a world title match.
I was going to say that they Scott Steiner her. I mean, what are you doing? Like, this girl, she can talk. Beautiful looking lady. She's not, I don't think she's there yet in the ring, but I think she can improve. But you threw her in against the champ. Right. You know, what do you do with her now? I mean, I know she cheap shotted her after the match was over, maybe setting up another fight with her. But why do they bring people in? Her first real feud, she's fighting the champ.
Right.
And I don't know what. And when she doesn't win the belt from Asuka, what do you do with her?
Yep.
And that was my only. I didn't feel the match helped Asuka any. I didn't feel the match helped Zelina any. I'm over. Maybe they could put subtitles on there with Asuka. I'm over Asuka screaming in Mandarin or whatever she does. I don't know what she's saying. Like, it doesn't help me at all.
Yep.
Like, maybe she can cut a promo. Maybe the words coming out are great. I don't know. It's a very annoying, but I just thought it was a bad setup for a bad match. I didn't like putting her in there with Asuka right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. She just came in out of nowhere, just automatically. She decides she's going to wrestle, and I think she's won 2 matches before, and both of them were over Lana, who we know has never won anything. So here she is, all of a sudden, she's getting this title fight. Like, what's up with that? So, no, I'm with you. That wasn't cool. And now she loses, so she's just a nobody. Moving on. Moving on. Let's go to the Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews. Seems like these guys have been fighting forever. Match is fine. It's just like, how much
don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah. Yep. You know, there's nowhere for them to go. These guys also, you know, they're apparently fighting with the Retribution, and Retribution
who apparently take the night off on pay-per-views.
Well, they got to tweet. They have to tweet. You know, they got a new job doing that, which everybody all of a sudden, because the guy, can I go off on this because I like this pay-per-view. I got nothing else to go off for. Shame on every one of you fools on Twitter and whatever the heck else that think it's cool that T-Bar started tweeting. He tweets at Chris Jericho, who tweeted at him because he tweeted at Dave LaGreca from the Sirius XM, and they get in a little Twitter thing. But then he doesn't let anybody respond to him because he knows he'll get murdered if he does, and everybody thinks that's the greatest thing ever. And then he responds to an Eric Bischoff thing, ripping on Eric Bischoff about how he destroyed $1 billion wrestling company. They were not $1 billion wrestling company.
It was news to me.
Turner is $1 billion company. WCW was not $1 billion company. Anyway, you who have arguably the worst storyline, as good as Roman was, you're the other end. Arguably the worst storyline of all time, and you have the balls to freaking rip on Eric Bischoff and rip on Chris Jericho? How about you take care of home first? How about you take care of your own business first? And once you get that cleaned up, then maybe you can do something. Unfortunately, because in the world we're in, all of a sudden the narrative changed and everybody's like, oh my God, Retribution, I can't wait to see them. Hey, guess what? They still got to go back on TV and suck.
Yep.
I don't care what you're tweeting about.
Can't read tweets from the middle of the ring.
Yeah, he could, but
I get
what's that going to do? He's going to get out there and go, "Hey, Chris Jericho, you gave people COVID at the Sturgis." Nah.
Look at you, giant idiot.
You got him. Get out of here with that. You think that's cool? You're the problem. If you think that's cool, you are the problem. It's ridiculous.
And Ryan, let's remember, he's opening his mouth, and me and you have criticized these people in the past. Jericho, I feel he's very stale, but you're calling out one of the top 30 wrestlers, maybe even higher of all time.
Yep. And who are you? You're T-Bar.
You're a Ninja Turtle ripoff bad guy, something.
Yeah,
Toka, Razor, Bebop, Rocksteady, all your other buddies in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Bane.
And then you're calling out Eric Bischoff, who is probably responsible for one of, if not the greatest wrestling angle in the history of wrestling.
Yep.
I mean, who is this guy? Who does he think he is? I mean, this unreal that you would even keep their names out of your mouth, man, until you do something other than wear a Bane mask.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Hey, but he was cool in NXT, though.
Oh, well, I didn't watch.
So I hear. I don't watch. You're right.
Yeah,
neither does anybody else.
Yeah.
So you got 600,000 fans, pal. Good for you.
What's your name? I don't care. Shut your mouth.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yep.
But people do. What are they going to do? Because all the girls got sick, so they're not going to have matches. I sent you a tweet of someone that said, just have T-Bar read tweets. That'll fill the time.
Great.
How about no? Anyway, I'm over that. That we talked about Lashley. Now we got the Raw Tag Team Championship. Street Profits beat Andrade and Garza for the 706th time. Nick, anything on that one? How was it different than 705?
It was fun. I mean, the match I fell asleep during the match and woke up right at the end of it. That was I literally did. It was. I don't hate any of these guys. I don't know anything about Angel Garza and Andrade. Still, we keep saying this.
You didn't learn anything every time they fight.
Every show you do, we keep talking about. We don't know anything about these guys. And the Street Profits are okay, but they don't really do anything. On Raw, I mean, they didn't even finish the feud, I don't think, with the Viking Raiders. They just kind of had.
Well, the one dude's dead, so
yeah, that's true.
That's part of it.
You know, I don't know. I didn't understand why you needed a controversial finish. We need to see this again. I don't want to watch this again. You know, it's the tag team titles might be the ones that are hurt the most from having multiple titles on each show. They just seem like they're pointless. They just seem like pointless championships, man. Even as bad as the IC and US title are, they're still involved sometimes in semi-decent storylines. These tag team titles, they're just like dealing them out like poker chips, man. Here, you get a run, you get a run, you get a run. You know, I mean, there's no feud, there's no story, there's no interest. They're just a pointless piece of strap, you know, a pointless strap now.
Yep. Totally agree. You even said more than I could say on that one. So then we get the SmackDown Women's title. Nikki Cross was supposed to fight Bayley. Nikki was one of them who had the match canceled for whatever reason. Not medically cleared was the thing, so we assume it's COVID. We don't know. So Asuka comes out. Nick, take it away.
I'm just coking. Is she the only girl in the back?
Well, that's what I was going to say again. If the tag guys have fought 705 times, how many times has Bayley and Asuka fought in a row?
And, you know, I think we should all be aware, you know, and I am over the next year or so, we may see matches and feuds have to be interrupted for COVID purposes. Stuff's going to happen like that. You're going to get a stand-in. There was no other girl other than the Asuka that has fought her, like you said, 700 plus times. I mean, you couldn't have found anybody in the. Naomi was busy. What was Naomi doing? You know, I mean, what were these other? Nobody else was in line there. I mean, even Natalia. You couldn't have drug her out there for a shot. I know maybe she's on the other show. I don't know. But it just seemed – I don't know why they had to use – it was a waste of a match. It went for like 5 seconds. I don't know. I thought it was pointless. And I thought it was pointless. We've said this to bring Sasha back so early. She should be gone. She should not show up. I was expecting her to show back up at like the Rumble.
Right.
You know, maybe she wins the Rumble and we get Bayley Sasha going into Mania. You know, I
that's what most people assume, dude, because she got murdered.
Yeah. Twice. Not just once. Twice.
Yeah, she got absolutely. Well, dude, in that last time, dude, she got wrecked beyond belief.
And it was great. I thought both of them were really good jumps by Bayley. And really, but she's just back.
Yep, just all of a sudden back. Don't really understand that whatsoever. So she interferes, blah, blah, blah. Nothing special. Yeah. There's that. And then we get into the WWE championships, which we have already talked about. But, Nick, overall, you give it a 7.
I do.
Same thing as these other pay-per-views, SummerSlam. Some of the other ones we really didn't like those whatsoever.
I would give those like underneath 5s.
Yeah.
Like, those were terrible. This one was good.
The wrestling was good on those, though, or they were just bad finishes. Something was going on there. You know, there are some matches in here, but what you're saying is the finish to like the Roman in the ladder match and whatnot puts it over the top there for you.
What have we been saying? You can go back. This was not. That's Ryan. I didn't even think about that till you said that. This was not the greatest match with 5-star as far as 5-star matches pay-per-view.
Right.
But this is probably one of the best, if not the best pay-per-view they've put on all year because of interesting finishes and storylines. That is what we've been saying. That you didn't need 27 Hurricane Ranas or acai moonsaults or all these other things, Meltzer. You can go get, you didn't have to have you had a good story that we wanted to see with Roman Reigns. You know, we had a great finish to a ladder match that we've never seen before. Even the finish, I didn't really talk about it. The Bobby, they're bringing the full Nelson back. Yep. That move it's not a move people are getting out of. You know, it's a
and
move
they
that
shouldn't. Look at that guy, man.
I want to see, but you bring back when he locks that on, you either had to counter it or you get out, or you tap out. There's no he hits it 6 or 7 times per match and the guy keeps getting out.
Yep.
I thought this was a good overall pay-per-view. It had some I don't think we're ever going to get WrestleMania 3 with this creative team in this era, but this was a good pay-per-view, and I could be darned about the wrestling, man. I'm interested in the stories. I'm interested to hear what they got to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of glad you get to see Sammy back. He's been gone. As much as I don't like him, he's different. Jeff Hardy's not different. AJ's not different. He's different. He was gone. Let's see what he's got with this title. Obviously, all the Roman stuff. The girls I am concerned about, and that may be a problem a little bit because half of their girls are gone now because of COVID or something.
Is it that many?
Well, it was like 4. And it really makes me think again, too, you got Alexa in this storyline with The Fiend, and some people are excited about that, and that's fine. But this is not a person that needed to be put in that storyline. People liked this girl. She had a character, and she can talk. She was someone people wanted to see anyway. Put Liv in that angle. Liv should be in there. She was trying to find herself. If they want a pretty girl to be with The Fiend, put Liv in there. She's pretty. She's blonde. And she needed a character. She didn't have anything. And that she was talking about finding myself and whatever. Well, then who better than to go with a cult leader, con artist, goofball guy? Put her with her. Now, Alexa's in there. They need girls to fight. And they can't because she's in some other storyline. I don't like that at all. So I'm a little worried about that. And as we said before, main eventers, man, I don't know what you do with Drew. I don't know. That show tomorrow, we could be looking at an all-time low. Yes, they are coming off a pay-per-view, but there's no reason to watch Raw tomorrow. There's no real reason. There's nothing with Drew that you want to see, and you don't know who he's going to fight. And you're looking at the Chiefs taking on the Ravens tomorrow night. Lamar against Patrick Mahomes. You could be looking at an all-time
Stanley Cup Game 6 is on tomorrow night as well.
And is that on regular TV tomorrow? Is that on big NBC? Or is that on?
So.
Yeah.
I either, I mean, it'll carry more if it's on that regular big NBC, but
yeah,
you got those two shows on tomorrow night, man.
Yeah, it could be an all-time loser as far as that goes. Anything else, Nick?
No, I think it was short and sweet tonight. Highly recommend this pay-per-view if you didn't see it. Just to at least to watch. If you don't watch anything, I'd watch the ladder match at the beginning, and I'd fast forward to the end and watch the Roman match. Those were the two big ones I thought that really kind of stole the show tonight, and both because of the finishes.
Yep. Absolutely. And according to you, don't hear that from us often. Good stuff. I liked it. Keep doing it, please. We beg of you. Please. We've only been waiting our entire lives. Please. More good.
Enjoyed it.
All right, man. We will they have pay-per-views like every 10 minutes now, so I'm pretty sure I'll probably talk to you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, guys. We'll see you next time.
Have a great. Thanks for having me.
You got it, buddy.